Ladies and gentlemen, my task this evening is quite a simple one. It is to introduce you to your master of ceremony for this evening's program. But before I do so, I want to acknowledge our members of parliaments in our midst. First of all, let me acknowledge the member of parliament for Tabaquite, Anita Haynes Allen. Let me acknowledge the member of parliament for Naparima, MP Rodney Charles. Let me acknowledge the member of parliament for Komoto Manzanilla, Dr. Rai Ragbir. Let me acknowledge your member of parliament for Shagwanas West, Mr. Dinesh Rambali. And also, I want to acknowledge in your midst this evening the very dynamic, the Atlantic powerhouse, the man that represents the constituency of Mayaro, MP Rushton Barre. We have with us as well our candidates on the team Patriots who are here with us this evening. And before I bring your master of ceremony, let me acknowledge and ask them to stand. First of all, the next party organizer, Mr. Henry Awang. Our education officer, Ms. Shanta Devi Sipasad. Our South coordinator, Mr. Wayne Mohammed. The International Relations Officer, Mr. Devchan Ramjit Singh. Your next treasurer and very articulate, Mr. Curtis Manchun. We have with us as well your next policy and strategy officer, the very articulate Mr. Kyle Taklal Singh. I want to also acknowledge our Tobago representative who just came in, Ms. Chanel Roberts. Our Northeast coordinator, Mr. Jazino Rigsby. The next chairman of the United National Congress. We have with us Senior Counsel Larry Lala. On his way this evening, we will be joined by Mr. Jason Ali, our next research officer, and he will be joining us soon. Give him a round of applause. Our deputy chair, Ms. Jermaine Abdullah, give her a round of applause. Our elections officer, Mr. William Achi, give him a round of applause. Our central representative, Dr. Roshan Ali, give him a round of applause. And ladies and gentlemen, you will be hearing from the rest of them this evening. I want to tell you, Mayaro says, a stronger UNC is a stronger TNT. Come Saturday the 15th of June, you will be casting your votes here in the constituency of Mayaro at the Rio Claro Presbyterian School. When you go there from 8 a.m., between the hours of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., all what you will be doing is voting for the praying hands. So, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, it's time we start the ball rolling. He's dynamic, he's powerful, he's mighty. He is one of the most articulate speakers in the House of Representatives. And you hear the other night on another platform, a fella say he was packing chairs in Arangway Savannah to come and tell us that they were really in this thing a long time. Let me tell him one time. Arangway Savannah had no chairs. We were standing in the mud. We were standing in the mud, so they had no chairs to pack. Tonight, every chair in this school is filled to capacity by the people of Mayaro. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present to you a gentleman who is strong and dedicated to the cause of duty. Let us put our hands together for your master of ceremony, no other than MP Dinesh Rambali.
Right now, Trinbago's dying. We hear the people shout, crying out stronger.
Thank you, Chairman Neil Ramdat. Good evening, Mayaro. How many of you from Navat? Who are you? Which ones of you are from Poole? Ecclesville? Come on. I want to say to each and every one of you this evening that given this turnout, given the energy that we feel pulsating from this crowd, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here this evening. It is, of course, my humble duty and pleasure to be here with you this evening, to be able to chair this program. Members of the United Patriots slate, led by our very own Member of Parliament for Mayaro, Rushton Parry. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a battery of top speakers, of course all of them from the United Patriots slate, and so we have a very compact program. We want to hear from your very own MP Rushton Parry. We, of course, want to hear from other members of the United Patriots slate. And I want to tell all of you here tonight, members of the media, those who are tuned in, we are live on radio and TV Jagrati. This will be rebroadcasted on another station tomorrow. And I know that this is also being streamed by our very own William Archie. All of you who are looking on, please note that if you have come for Bacchanal and Movelang, that was a night before in another place. That is not what this platform is about. Now I want to get down to business quickly, and as I start, I want to ask you all to just think a little bit about where we are as individuals, where we are as family leaders, where we are as community leaders, where we are as members of the community, where we are as members of this constituency and citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Where are we at this point in time, given the state of Trinidad and Tobago? We have to ask ourselves that. We had the death of businessmen, we had the death of children, we have had the death of women, we have had murders rampant throughout our communities at the hands of criminals, and these are all merely the latest in wake after wake of horrors that assault us on a daily basis. Murders, child killings, abuse, rape, kidnappings, senseless violence. The list is endless, ladies and gentlemen. Shows no sign of stopping, and we have become numb. I ask you, what are we to do? Because we seem to be helpless. Our safety and security is lost. When we are passing through tough times, my brothers and sisters, we have to stop and think things through. So when our country is passing through tough times, we must now stop together and do some fundamental introspection. We have to look inside. I want to tell you that the reason that I am here tonight is that I have not given up. I want to tell you that we must not give up. And we must all not give up. And that is why I am supporting Rushton Parry. Listen, and listen to me carefully. We have now finished what we call the mid-year review. You have a budget and then a half-year review of that budget. And your very own MP Rushton Parry provided some very analytical, stinging criticisms of what it is the government is failing to do. And this is something that he has to do, and other members of the United Patriots slate, because including MP Anita Haynes, MP Rai Ragbir, MP Rodney Charles, because our economy is in a very dilapidated state. Much like the PNM roads and what they have done, the economy is like that as well. And so what we have is projected billions of dollars in deficit moving forward. I want to tell you that with people like Rushton Parry, MP Rushton Parry, we do not only have a budget deficit, but with members like him and a team like the United Patriots slate, we can salvage this situation. We can turn around things. We can save this country. We can save our economy if we win government and we have competent people to get the job done. But you could talk from now, and as the local parlance says, till you're blue in the face. You could talk now till all the blood drain out of your face. You're not going to be able to save this country unless we first win government. So we don't only have a fiscal deficit, we have a security deficit, we have a moral deficit, we have a trust deficit, and we have what I would say is a government deficit. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward, I want you at every juncture, every speaker that we have here tonight, listen to what they have to say. We have some very critical decisions to make, and we have to start in our party, in the United National Congress. And when we start taking these decisions, we can make decisions for the politics of Trinidad and Tobago. We have to take the United National Congress, the UNC, on a path of progress. And we have to do this very soon. I see some children here tonight. You know, when I walked in, I met some of you, and I met some of the children you all have brought here tonight. And it is good that you have brought your children here tonight so they can hear as well. We have to fulfill the dreams of the UNC membership, and we have to fulfill the dreams of all of these children. So I will speak to you during the program in between the speakers. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, as I bring my message, I want to now call on the stage because I want to hear what she has to say. I, of course, want to call on Miss Shanta Sipasad. Ms. Shanta Sipasad is, of course, vying on the United Patriots slate for education officer. And I heard her many times, and for the first time, I am hearing somebody vying for education officer telling us about plans, telling us about what they want to do within the party to ensure that you have proper research, to ensure that the party is properly educated, the members are properly educated, plans for a political school, plans for different things that I know she will tell us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, give her a round of applause as we welcome her, Ms. Shanta Sipasad.
My colleagues on Team United Patriots and the winning candidates on Saturday the 15th of June, my Rio Claro and Mayaro UNC family, good evening. I am Shanta Devi Sipasad, your candidate for Education Officer, and it is indeed an honor and privilege to present myself before a very distinguished crowd this evening. I come before you as a child of this great party, born and bred in the house of the rising sun. As your candidate for Education Officer, it is important we institute the party school to remind our supporters and future generations of this party what it means to be UNC. And I'm quoting Mr. Basteo Pandey, his speech when the UNC was formed. United to keep forever in our mind our long-sought dream. National to indicate that unity is in the interests of the nation and its people. Congress to reaffirm and reassess our commitment to consultation and participation by all our people in the decision-making process that affect our lives in a share of national patrimony. My brothers and sisters, we cannot dismiss and exclude the legacies of those that have contributed to this great party. It is important that the party school include a UNC library and an archive for past MPs, senators, councillors, and stalwarts of this great party. Your dedication needs to be recognized. The Hall of Fame will teach our younger ones and those that have toiled and served this party. Our children should not grow up knowing Eric Williams as this country's father, but rather Mr. Basteo Pandey as the champion of the people. We need to instill in our children that it was UNC governments that built schools, roads, and police stations. We have to remind the people that it was the PNM who said that the Beach High School was for Lagahu and Dwen. Our children cannot be brainwashed into believing that this is PNM country and blame UNC. Now, we see in our parliament some of our very own UNC members are frightened to battle the rowdy-led PNM government. I feel sad when I look on the Parliament channel and I see the PNM ridicule us as if we in the UNC doesn't exist. This is why this election on Saturday is important. Only this team Patriots can re-energize the UNC to ensure we present the best version of this UNC to defeat the PNM. Now, I heard one of them on the other side on Monday talking about our concept for the headquarters and criticizing us for having a vision for building one. Imagine this, sir. They might see a few people in the rain to go down in the meeting to sit down and hear that. The way the man criticizes us, I will say he's going to tell the people, well, we procure a piece of land and we're going to start a bill. Now, I hope you all understand why this PNM government could get away with things, sir. If that is the opposition we have sitting in the parliament and they cannot keep the PNM to account. That argument that gentleman came with, it lacks substance. And they're so bad mind. They're so bad mind. If I was them, they can't play the politics, you know. If I were them, I would have said, Pare, if your name man, build the headquarters for we. But no, they mount up on that platform and they spew venom to fight us, their very own UNC members. But you know, if they use that same venom to fight the PNM, we would have a stronger opposition. But some of them on that side, they have cocoa in the sun. And when you have cocoa in the sun, expect rain. They are afraid of the PNM and they will not stand against the PNM. Now, they would brainwash people and say Pare and Anita wouldn't support Stand Your Ground. They would say Kyle wouldn't support FULs. But let me make it clear tonight. Our problem is not the intention to fight crime, you know. It's the ability to win a general election. We have to win a general election to implement the policies. They should know better. Performance beats all talk. You cannot have these plans and policies, but your population isn't impressed by your slate of candidates. Now, the other side will say they are the only one that could take you into government come 2025, but they have failed on 2 occasions. But the only place I see some of them going is Golden Grove. So be careful who you select on Saturday, as this will be the team to take you into government, or it will be the team to keep the PNM there. The decision is yours. Now, don't get chained up with the narrative when they want to call this team Patriots PNM. They cannot say anything against us except spew PNM propaganda against their own UNC supporters. Now, I want to address something here tonight. That same Natex, the same one that sits today, they appointed the PRO, Dr. K. Megu, on 2 occasions. Dr. Kirk Megu is serving 2 terms. Now, why is Dr. Kirk Megu so important? He is the PRO of our party. But anybody could go on social media and see it was the same Dr. Kirk Megu who protested with Dr. Keith Rowley in 2015 against a UNC-led government. Dr. Megu campaigned against the then Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Where is he today? The PRO of we party? Who pagal? Who pagal? Who appointed Dr. Kirk Megu? The very same one who fought against to get the UNC out of government. That Natex has to account for those actions. Now, apart from that, I want to share Dr. Megu's words. And Dr. Megu has to account, are these his words? When he formed his little DNA party, or I thought it was to do DNA testing when I saw the sign in Shogunas, but he said the UNC represents everything wrong with our country. Selective enforcement of rules, deception, dishonesty. Not my words, Dr. Megu's words. He said the PNM realizes our value more than the UNC. What is this? Dr. Kirk Megu had all of this to say against the UNC, and he is sitting comfortably as our PRO? Come on, we have to ask who it is, Pagal. No. It is important. I want to share some, just very briefly, because I know my time is limited, some stats with you all on some marginal seats, and I will use St. Joseph as an example. In 2015, the UNC lost that seat by 1,600 votes, and the electorate was 27,000 voters. Now, when I looked at the maths of it, 8,000 persons did not come out to vote. 2020, we lost by 800 votes, and 10,000 persons did not come out to vote. Now, my question is to those on the other side, what have you done from 2010 to now to attract these undecided voters? At least in most marginal seats, you have a number, a fraction at about 10,000 persons that do not go out to vote. They don't like the PNM, but the UNC is not the option. And why are we not attracting these voters? Now, in 2010, We attracted them. They came out and voted. They supported the UNC. But 2010, it was a different version of the UNC. Fresh faces, clean, untainted persons. But yet the current narthex has been unable to attract or keep these voters. Now, we heard the other side say, don't look at name, just go and vote for symbol. But our electorate is not foolish. They will look at faces. Your swing voter in St. Joseph is looking at your candidate in Couva and will not go and vote. Now, we as a party, we need to stop celebrating wins that will not take us in government. 7-7 is not a win. Each time the other side face Keith Rowley and the PNM, they have lost. They have lost, and it affects the UNC, it affects us. Now, my brothers and sisters, the chance you took in 2010 to get the UNC in government is a chance you have to take today. The chance you took led the UNC in government within a few months. Are you going to make that chance, take that chance again? And I'm leaving this message to my Rio Claro and Mayaro family. Let me remind you, charity begins at home and you need to support your own. This team is led by Mr. Rushton Parry, a son of the soil, a decent, respectful man. This team is untainted. We have assembled the best team and we need to sweep all 17 positions. Remember, a stronger UNC is a stronger TNT. On Saturday, June 15th, remember, you have to do your duty and vote for the praying hands. I thank you.
We're climbing higher, been through the fire, been through the fire. We need a
Ladies and gentlemen, let us give her another round of applause. Ms. Shanta Sipasad. And of course, we must put our X next to the praying hands, next to her name as education officer. Come June 15th, Saturday, June 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see that the theme is taking the UNC back on that path of progress. And I want to follow on what Shanta is saying. I want to ask you all here today, are your ears tired of hearing the same old election promises again and again? Are you tired of seeing the same old people hogging up on political platforms, calling each other all kind of names, and whilst they practice the most divisive politics in Trinidad and Tobago? Are you tired of seeing the same old faces who oversaw our great party lose election after election since 2013? And I want to ask you all here a much more serious question. Are you tired of those who accused each other of scandal and corruption and destroyed our government now coming to say, let's unite so that they can keep themselves relevant in the opposition? I didn't call names there, but we heard from Ms. Shanta Sipasad one such name. I want to tell you all, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I am fed up. And I am sure that you all are fed up. We all here are fed up of losing, because losing elections are now costing us our lives. So we must do what is right come Saturday, June 15th, and put your X next to the praying hands. Ladies and gentlemen, moving along quickly, I want to tell you about this speaker. I consider him my younger brother. And this is an individual who, from my own personal observances, he has accepted every challenge. And every time he faced a personal challenge in his life, he converted such challenge into an opportunity. And he's somebody who, over the years, he accepted the challenges of other people. And so he started doing cases as a lawyer for people who were downtrodden, people who couldn't pay. And so he started to do pro bono litigation for the ordinary man. He is someone who practices particularly in the field of public and constitutional law, ensuring that everybody have and they enjoy their rights. He coined his own program. It is actually a movement, a Section 1 movement, which I'm happy to join him in, because Section 1 means that Trinidad and Tobago is a sovereign democratic state. And the meaning of that as well is that all of you have sovereign democratic rights. And that is what we want to see in the UNC again, that all members have rights in the United National Congress. The leaders must first serve you to then lead. And that is what we are about. So this gentleman, Mr. Kyle Taklal Singh, attorney at law, he knows what is struggle. He's a true soldier for the people. Let's welcome him on the stage, Mr. Kyle Taklal Singh.
Change right now, Trinbago's dying. We hear the people shout, crying. A stronger UNC is a stronger TNT. A stronger UNC is a stronger TNT. A stronger UNC is a stronger TNT. A stronger UNC. Whoa.
Mayaro, let me hear you. A stronger UNC is a stronger TNT. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family of the United National Congress, welcome to our platform. Ladies and gentlemen, I started to reflect upon the journey that brought this team to where we are today. And I started thinking, why have we all come to this place to assemble and then to take us into Saturday for victory? We are all, each one of us here, concerned about our country. We all see the problems that our population is suffering. We face unprecedented crime, home invasions, robbery, businesses are closing, our friends are leaving because they feel unsafe. The economy is suffering. People can't find jobs. Their real income is worth less than it was many years ago. They can't put food on their table. People are being taken advantage of. The institutions of our country, whether it be the court, whether it be the president's office, whether it be the police service, whether it be the commissioner of police office, they have all fallen under the deep, dark hand of the PNM. And we all sit here and we wonder, what can we do to fix it? And our Constitution, the National Constitution, allows us a method. It tells you, ladies and gentlemen, it tells each and every one of you that you have the constitutional right of political assembly. That means that you can join a political party of your choice. And when you join that party, you can participate in that party, and then your political party can take the reins of power and set the policies that will solve the problems of your country. That is what politics is about. That is what your constitutional rights are about. So when this opportunity arose, and Mr. Parry and MP Rambali and MP Haynes came forward and forced this internal election to be called, and let me be very clear about that. This internal election was not going to be called. Not going to be called. And it is only because of the courage of those MPs who stood up and came forward that we now have an election in this country. I, Kyle Taklal Singh, say that. I say that. And you could join with Slate. I say it. So, we have all come and put our names forward, each one of us on the slate, because we want to strengthen our party. We want to ensure that the structures in our party, from the party group all the way up to the national executive, are working so that we can have a stronger party, a stronger UNC, and a stronger Trinidad and Tobago. How difficult is that? How difficult is that? When they ask you and they tell you, well, why are you doing this? Why are you causing couture? Why are you causing bacchanal? It is because you are performing your constitutional duty, both to your party and to your country, ladies and gentlemen. That is the importance. And you see, when you listen to the other side, and when this campaign started, I became even more convinced that this party needed saving. I became more convinced that June 15th is not just an election for Natex, you know. June 15th is a battle for the very soul of our party. The very heart, spirit, and soul of our party. That is what we're fighting for on the 15th. So when you get up early and you start calling people to come out and vote, remember the importance of the fight. It's not just to give Kyle Taklal Singh a position, not to make your MP Paré a deputy political leader. It is to save your party and the very spirit and conscience and soul of the United National Congress. That is what we're fighting for. And as the campaign continued, you started to hear the narrative on the other side. While Shanta talking party school, them saying we is PNM. While we talking building party headquarters so that each activist could have a share in that headquarters and come and learn and come and be educated, them talking dissident. You see, and the reason is very clear. While we talking plans and policy, them talking propaganda. Propaganda. And that is the best that they could do. You look at some of the members on this slate. How dare you call us PNM? How dare you call us PNM? William Archie, the man drives his van to every single UNC meeting, broadcasts it, cuts it up, clips it, disseminates it on social media so people can have the UNC message. That is PNM. Dr. Curtis Manchun, one of the first national executive members of our party, historical accountant, has put his name forward and his reputation forward to serve us. He could never be PNM. Eh? Your MP in Mayaro fighting the PNM tooth and nail in the parliament. He is not a PNM. And anybody call him that again are suing them. Right? Anita Haynes, you hear about safe seat. I started walking and going meetings in Tabakit. That seat becomes safer. It becomes safer. That is now a new thing. It's called a safer seat. Right? That is the kind of people here who are dedicated to the United National Congress. Mr. Deo-chan, Mr. Shiva Deo-chan, father was a councillor in the United National Congress. He is a successful businessman. He and his wife in every meeting, that's how we became friends. He could ever be a PNM? No. So put that to rest. But you see, one thing I learned in life, and one thing I've started to learn even more in politics. The people who insult you the most are some of the people who are in the most need of saving in this party. Most need of saving. They have become so warped, so brainwashed, that they're actually starting to believe the nonsense they're talking. So we need to win this national executive, lead this party into government next year, tell all of them calm down, help we govern this country, and then you will see great leadership and a stronger United National Congress. Our chairman candidate, Mr. Larry Lala, senior counsel, has been in the UNC so long, I remember. I wasn't even a lawyer when he in the United National Congress, right? When the leader needed to choose a lawyer to negotiate a debate, who she went to, it was Mr. Larry Lala. When a deputy political leader needed a senior counsel, Mr. Larry Lala, right? And he is PNM? Nonsense. And we must put that to bed on the 15th. We're not taking that. So ladies and gentlemen, get up early. Make your breakfast. Go straight and vote. I agree with you. Go straight and vote. Go straight and vote. I agree. It's called intermittent fasting. Go straight and vote. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, if you want a stronger party, put your X next to the praying hands on June 15th and vote for the slate. Vote for government next year, and we will lead you into government. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Change right now, Trinbagle's dying. We hear the people shout, crying on a stronger.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands again together for Mr. Kyle Taklal Singh. You heard the fire coming from that man's belly. You heard the passion in his voice. So imagine how hard he will work for you if we come out on June 15th, Saturday, June 15th, and we put the X next to the praying hands and we make him the next policy and strategy officer. Imagine where that passion will take this party. But we need to put him there. Ladies and gentlemen, having heard Ms. Shanta Sipasad, Kyle Taklal Singh, I want to ask you, having sustained so many election losses, do you think those on the other side have any vision of how to take our party and our country into good governance? I ain't hear you. Let me hear that again. Let me tell you why, and you are right. No, the answer is no, a resounding no. They lack commitment, they lack dedication, and they lack direction. That is why the only thing they need, and the only thing they can do, is to just come out and point fingers and say that one this, and that one that, and this one. And personally attacking members of this slate. Yes. We need to attack the PNM, not attack each other. And they don't understand that. I want to tell you all, I ask you, if those on the other side had the vision and the means to take this party forward, would we still be sitting in opposition? Think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I want to announce our next speaker, a man who has a track record of delivery in the United National Congress, a man who has occupied the local government positions and the highest positions at that, a man who, when he saw that things, as we say, were going south in the party, he decided that he will stand up. He decided that he will stand up alongside your MP, Rushton Paré. He decided that he will stand up and say enough is enough. We need to win government. And so, this gentleman has offered himself to be the next party organizer. I ask you, put your hands together for Mr. Henry Awong.
We need a change right now, Trinbagle's dying. We hear the people shout, crying, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. Whoa.
Member of Parliament for Mayaro, the Honorable Rushton Paré. My Member of Parliament for Tabakit, the Honorable Anita Haynes Aline. I just want to say this. If my MP was Anita Haynes, I don't want Rushton Paré to be my MP. but I have a good MP. Yes, MP, Anita Haynes Aline. Other colleagues on the United Patriots slate, and of course, the most important people here tonight, you, the members of the United National Congress. Good evening. I am privileged to be on this slate with all these honorable, dignified people. Never in my wildest of dreams, as a young man, when my beard was black, did I envisage that the name Henry Awong would be on a ballot contesting a position on the narthex of this great party called United National Congress. And I listened to my brother Kyle just now, and he's called all the members and the reason why they are not PNM. I want to tell you why I am not PNM. As a long-standing card-toting, proud member of the United National Congress, I have paid my dues over the years. I can recall my first internal elections in this party in the year 2000. On a slate as the Assistant Secretary, going up against a Team Unity slate. Do you remember Team Unity? For the Tabakit constituency executive. In the constituency of Tabakit, of course, it was a hard-fought election, and at the end of it all, my slate was victorious, totally wiping out the other slate. Those days, the MP for Tabakit was a man called Adesh Nanan, known as the Tabakit Tiger. I must tell you this, I polled then over 1,000 votes in that election. Over 1,000 votes, which was the highest in the election. Since then, for 24 consecutive years, I'm still the long-serving member of the Tabakit constituency executive. 24 years consecutively. I have been to numerous UNC activities, be it protests in front of the Red House, around the Red House, in Aruka, and for those of you who are around since my time and know about the protests in Aruka, I wouldn't go into it. In Superior, we walked from Tabakit to Port of Spain with a man called Ramesh Maharaj. I knew of the days when the UNC people used to be afraid of wearing their orange UNC t-shirts in Port of Spain. I was around. There's a come with another shirt over the thing. And when the meeting done, they take out, they put back on the shirt. That is the early days of the UNC. I've been ridiculed and abused by the PNM. Back then, for supporting an Indian-based party, they say, they could not understand how this mixed Rastaman could support the UNC. But you know what? I believe in the founding principles of the UNC. I believe in the founding principles of the UNC. I've seen over the years our party moved away from brand UNC to brand KPB. That worked for a short while, but faded away. It is our hope on this United Patriots slate to bring back the brand UNC to its former glory. I want to say one day, great is the UNC. With the right people, we'll win the next election. I want to say that. Great is the UNC. As your party organizer, I will ensure that every constituency in Tabakit, in Trinidad and Tobago, we have functioning party groups. That constituency executives are respected, and in doing so, have a stronger voice in candidate selection for both the national and local government elections. I will ensure, with my colleagues of course, that the constituency councils are operationalized as per the constitution of the party. I am doing In so doing, we'll have the views of the rank and file UD members communicated upwards to the NATEX. And when we form the next government in 2025, it will reach to the cabinet level. There will be policies are formulated. As a local government practitioner for 21 years, only 5 of those years, my party were in power, from 2010 to 2015. And those were the best years for me as a local government representative. During those days, we were able to deliver to our people. But since then, it's been a hard road of suffering for our people. I am fed up of telling our people that we have no funding to repair your roads, that we only got 1,050,000 tabakit for the fiscal year, this present fiscal year, for the entire 15 electoral districts, divided by 15, $70,000 per district. I'm fed up of telling people we have no funding to prepare recreation grounds properly, to build the required box trains, to repair the broken down wooden bridges. My heart goes out to the people when they call and they say they have no water. Persons outside the party, listen to these members, listen to these colleagues. Persons outside of the party base are looking on, and some are praying for the United Patriots to win this present internal election. Because they want a credible alternative to vote for, because they are fed up of the harsh and unfair living conditions under this PNM. So they're praying for us to win. We'll win the base, of course, but we need those people on the marginals to vote for us to win government. Brothers and sisters, they would not vote for the UNC, they tell me, with the present configuration of the party hierarchy. For the other side, they wouldn't vote for the UNC. Brothers and sisters, we need to do what is necessary to form government when elections are called in 2025. How do we do that? By ensuring the vehicle, our great party, the United National Congress, is well oiled and ready, with visionary and credible leaders as those on this United Patriots slate, who are willing to do the hard work that would take us to victory in 2025 general election. Brothers and sisters, by exercising your right to vote on Saturday, the 15th of June, you and only you have the power to bring about this much needed change. You have a wonderful opportunity to change the course of the UNC for the betterment of your party, for the betterment of Trinidad and Tobago. UNC members, this coming Saturday, 15th of June, let's move our party up with the United Patriots. Let's give ourselves a chance to form the next government of Trinidad and Tobago. Vote for the United Patriots. Put your X next to the rise, to the praying hands. Thank you very much.
We need a change right now, Tobago's dying. We hear the people shout, crying, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just heard from Councillor Henry Awong. He is vying for party organizer. You know, I am walking through this crowd. Some of you, I am chatting with you a little bit because I don't want to disturb you whilst you listen to these very important messages. And it has struck me that here tonight, we have a movement within this United Patriots led by MP Rushton Parry. This movement has been triggered with this internal elections. And I want to tell you, we need to continue this movement, this mass movement towards progress, towards winning government. And that is where we will see freedom from crime and all the ills and the problems that we are experiencing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a very critical juncture. And what we do on Saturday, 15th June, we cannot afford to stay at home. We cannot afford that when we go out to the stations that we make a mistake and we put that X anywhere other than by next to this clasp hands. We cannot afford to bypass these warriors, these people of integrity. And they have real degrees behind their name. And speaking about persons who have real degrees, we have someone who does not only have a law degree, he practices with his law degree. He has been called not only to the bar of Trinidad and Tobago, he has been admitted to practice before the bar in New York. This man, when I started to practice law, he was a judge sitting in our high court. This is the caliber of the individuals that Rushton Parry has put together for you. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this man is a householder's name, and he is vying for the position of chairman on the United Patriots slate, the slate of the clasp hands. Let's welcome Larry Lala.
UNC is a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC is a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC is a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. Whoa.
Mayaro, how you feeling? Members of Parliament, MP Rushton Parry, MP Anita Haynes, MP Rodney Charles, MP Rai Ragbir, my dear friend, MP Dinesh Rambali, councillors, members of the United National Congress, give yourself a round of applause. I want to speak to you about two things in the short time that I have. Two very important things. This election that you are going out to vote in on Saturday is about your survival. All over this country, everyone from every walk of life, from the highest to the lowest, is suffering under this government. And we are fighting for survival. And we need people who could fight for our survival. But you see the other team that I have in this election, they're not fighting for your survival, you know. They're fighting for their survival. Not one of them could walk out of where they are now and go on the road and get a job. Not one of them. They are all fighting for themselves, and they are professional yes men. And you see, there's a dangerous thing about yes men. Because when they keep saying yes all the time, they paint themselves off in a corner. The leader ready to drive the party off a cliff, and they're still saying yes, yes, let me go, yes. It is time to say no. It is time to say all is not well in the UNC. And you have, my dear brothers and sisters of the UNC, here in Mayaro, and looking on all over the country, because this meeting is being widely broadcasted. You have people who are not yes men, who are prepared to stand up for you and the country and say, no, this has to change. You have 5 MPs. Understand what they have done. Every time I speak, I make the point so that everyone could understand what these 5 MPs have done. They have stood up to the leadership of the party, and they have said in the interest of the members of the party and in the interest of this country that the UNC is going down the wrong road, and the UNC cannot win the general election next year if we do not make fundamental changes. They have men like Henry Awong, Henry and other councillors who support us. They have put their office on the line for you. They are not fighting for their survival, they are fighting for your survival. And you have to understand that. They have people like Kyle Taklal Singh. Kyle has put in a nomination for the Kuva North seat. And he has decided to come on this slate and not be a yes man because he wants to fight for your survival and for the survival of the country. And we have to appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. Be very afraid of yes men. Be very afraid of yes men. All of them on that slate. All, down to the last one. Down to the handbag man. I wouldn't call any name. Privately, they will all admit that our party needs fundamental change. But look at them today. Look at them today. Look at their behavior on the platform. Castigating your brothers and sisters as PNM. Are you going to stand for that, ladies and gentlemen? We are not going to put up with that nonsense. And all over the country, the members are saying the same thing. You know, in the last local government election, which they like to sell as a win, but was a damn loss. We lost the local government election because we didn't win it. All over the country, when they went campaigning, people were telling them, the party needs change. The party needs change. The party needs change. But I'm sure not one of them went back in Philippines and told Philippines what they were hearing. I'm sure not one of them did that. Be very afraid of yes men, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very afraid. We are fighting for you, and we are fighting for you with praying hands. And we are praying that we could have a stronger party, a stronger UNC for a stronger TNT. We want to have a strong party that could put forward credible candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear brothers and sisters in the UNC, we lost the last general election when our candidates were announced. In 2015 and 2020, the day our candidates were announced, the country rejected us. They say, no, UNC, you can't be serious with that bunch you're all going in with. And the leader didn't listen. The leadership didn't listen. These members of this slate want to give you a chance to have credible candidates to win in the marginal so that we could win the general election next year. And we are fighting for you with praying hands. We are praying for a strong, united UNC. We want everybody on board. We want Michaela to come on board. We want Gary to come on board. Timothy Hamill-Smith, let everybody come. I remember in the days of the UNC, in the campaigns of Mr. Basil Pandey, he would always say, my father's house has many rooms, come. What has happened to the party now? A couple nights ago, the leaders stand up on a platform and tell off Gary. How is that to help us in the general election next year? This nonsense in the UNC has to stop, and it will stop on Saturday. So that is the first thing I wanted to speak to you about. Be afraid of yes men. And look at the men saying no because they are your saviors. The next thing I want to speak to you about, and very, very serious, is about Saturday. We know over the years, and among ourselves all over the country as well, people talking. You say, you know, we need change in the party, but they go rig it, they go rig it. People saying that all over. And where did that start? That didn't start with us. That didn't start with us. I remember in the 2015 campaign, somebody was talking about ballot papers in a river. You remember that? I don't want to call names. I'm not calling names. But you all will know. I remember when Vasan campaigned, he complained as well. So we are not saying, and we are not telling you that there are problems in the election. That has always been the history of the party, unfortunately. But we, in our campaign, we are putting things to deal in place to deal with that. We want you to come out in your numbers on Saturday, all over the country. And I'm speaking to all our members all over the country. Come out and exercise your right to vote. And do not be afraid. We are putting things in place to ensure that we have a fair election. We are manning all the polling stations with trained polling agents and with attorneys at law who will be looking on to see what is happening. But I want to ask all of you have a job to do on Saturday. This is your election, and you must allow no one to corrupt your election. Each and every member of this party has a responsibility on Saturday to ensure that nothing wrong takes place in the election. If you see something, bring it to the attention of one of us, somebody on our slate or our polling agent, and we will deal with it. If all of you have your eyes on them, they cannot thief the damn election. So put your eyes on them. This is our election, our democratic process, and we have a duty to ensure that it is conducted fairly so that we can hold it up to the national community proudly and say these are the results of our election. We have published the hotlines for our office. At the base, at the office, we will have personnel there manning the phones. If you are not sure where you have to vote, call in on the hotline and we will guide you. If you see something wrong taking place in the election and you cannot find anyone to make a complaint, call in and we will deal with it. We have to treat this very seriously because members of the UNC, if we get this wrong on Saturday, and I'm confident we will get it right, but if it goes wrong, I shudder to think what is going to happen in this country in the next 5 years. And Henry made an important point when he spoke earlier. It is so serious. So I want all of you to do your duty on Saturday. Come out early, get to the polling station. I know Saturday will be a busy day. But this is perhaps the most important thing that we are going to do all over the country on Saturday. Come out, go to the polling station, and you're going to put 17 X's by all of the praying hands. All of the praying hands on Saturday. My sister Shanta mentioned the point that somebody on the other slate say, man, don't worry about name, man, just put your mark by the symbol. You know why? Because they're shame about those names. They want to hide those names. They don't want you to pay attention to those names. We want you to pay attention to our names. We have been daring them throughout this whole election. We have been saying we have 17 people of impeccable character, of integrity, of national repute. Have you heard any allegation against anybody on this slate as of today? Because they can't. They can't. Mr. Rushton, MP Rushton Parry has taken great care out of his concern for you in Mayaro, out of his concern for all of Trinidad and Tobago, to ensure that he put together a proper slate of candidates and to give you the best choice you could possibly have for leadership in the narthex of your party and to take our country forward. All I want to ask you is to do your duty on Saturday and put your X by the praying hands. Thank you, thank you very, very much.
It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we have just heard from your next chairman of the United National Congress, Mr. Larry Lala, Senior Counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that the time, when time flies when you're having a good time. We are having a good time here. But this good time must be converted, as Mr. Lala says, on Saturday, 15th of June. Put your X next to the praying hands. For our children's sake, for the youths and our citizens to lead a life of peace and harmony, to have jobs, to be properly educated, we need to win government. And to do this, we need to ensure that this United Patriots team is the team that will take the party forward. And talking about children and youths and education, I want to welcome this evening someone who all women of Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean can be proud of. Someone who is young, who is beautiful, who is vibrant, who is dynamic, who is very articulate. And Rodney Charles always reminds me she's a national scholar. I want you, with a standing ovation, to welcome MP for Tabaquite, Miss Anita Haynes.
It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. Whoa.
Thank you. Thank you very much to my colleague MP Dinesh Rambali, the only man to ensure that I will always get a standing ovation. So I appreciate you for that. To all of my parliamentary colleagues and my slate members who are here with us tonight, and to you members of the United National Congress, I say good night, good evening, and welcome to Mayaro. I'm welcoming people to your constituency, just briefly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight coming towards the end of our campaign trail. Today is Wednesday. We are 2 days away from D-Day. 2 days away from either staying the same or finding a way into government into 2025. And as we come to the end of the campaign, I want to tell you that I stand here immensely proud of the campaign of the United Patriots of the United National Congress. I am proud of the campaign because we showed a clear difference from what was past and what the future of the United National Congress will be. I am proud because those of you here today, those who are looking on, those of you who have reached out to us on various forms of media, those of you who have spoken to candidates on our walks, in our meetings, you have shown the courage to say that things can be better and you will do the work with us to make things better. And for that, I applaud you. I stand here proud of knowing that there are people in the United National Congress who remain loyal to the United National Congress. And that is an important distinction, because we are hearing so many things about loyalty and loyalty, but you have to ask, where does their loyalty lie? I saw the current chairman of the United National Congress speak on our platform on Monday. And the current chairman, who used to be the General Secretary of the United National Congress, spoke on that platform and said that members of this slate hide from the PNM. And I want to tell you all something here tonight, because it's one thing to lie, but if you're going to lie, lie good. Don't lie and lie in a bad way. Lie good, not that people could catch you easy. 2020, the United National Congress on August 10th lost the second general election in a row. On that day, we met and we decided that there will be a press conference on August 11th. On August 11th, the United National Congress held a press conference to speak to UNC members, to the nation, about what we were going to do now that we've lost the second general election in a row. I show up at the press conference. The press conference was supposed to start at 11 o'clock. I show up because, you know, we just newly elected member of parliament for Tabakit, still serving as public relations officer at the time. At that time, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking around who will speak to the media, who will speak to members of the UNC. The chairman watched me and said, not me. The deputy political leader watched me and said, not me. All three deputy political leaders sat down there and said, not me. They say, Anita, you go. You go and talk to the UNC people and say, we will find a way forward. And then you come in to tell me last night about who does hide? You telling me about who does hide? And so the reason they are so comfortable with losing elections is because when they lose, they will hide from you again. And then you come there and you say, we don't have people who will talk in parliament. All you had to be wicked. You saying that? You were the man who didn't stand up to speak in the budget debate in 2021, and you telling us who does hide from the PNL? No, I find, and I say, you know, I try my best not to respond. But you're running for chairman again. It's not your first run. It's not your second run. It's probably not even your third run. During the years we were in government, you sat as general secretary of the party. And not 1 minute of that speech you could tell people what you did. Not 1 minute of that speech you could tell people, this is what I did for you, the members of the UNC. And I'm fed up here you're telling us about packing up chairs. I'm fed up. Stop telling us about the chairs. We don't want chairs, we want seats. We want seats. And if it is that all you're holding another meeting tomorrow to tell us about chairs, cancel it. Because if you're not telling us about seats, don't tell us anything. And ladies and gentlemen, when you have a campaign, as they have one, that is based on lies, that is based on propaganda, you will do anything. I see them sharing what the team will do for you. Kyle spoke about it at another meeting. What the team will do for you. And on the list of things is UNC policy. And we are all members of the UNC. So you taking our campaign, stand your ground is UNC policy. That belongs to us too. The question of opening the gates is UNC policy. That belongs to us too. And so the question you have to ask yourselves as members of the UNC is who can get you into government to enact those policies. And they are trying their best. They are trying their utmost best to confuse you. Because not one of them, not one person who goes on that platform will tell you what they will do differently to win the election in 2025. And ladies and gentlemen, our slate on the United Patriots is designed to win elections. Our policies in the internal elections is designed to fix UNC business. And so when they come into you and giving you national policy with no internal policy, that is why we are in opposition today. We are in opposition today because not one of them understand what their role and function is. And so you know when you tell people they don't know their place, that is exactly what we have to tell them. You don't know your place. And if you're holding a position for 4 years, 5 years, and you still don't know what to do, you ain't shame to come and campaign again for the same position? No, yeah, I mean, at some point in time, you have to say to yourself, I'm not able. Some all you know, all you're not able. What are you doing there? And Larry said it. It's because the only thing they could do is say yes. So after they finish say yes, they say yes to any position. I saw some of them before nomination day didn't even know what position they was going to run for. Confused. And so they find out, they finish scramble, and they'll get up there and they'll say anything. They will say anything. They have one running for education officer, and that had to be the biggest joke. They are laughing at UNC people, because if you know the man running for education officer, you know education nowhere near that man name. Nowhere near that man name. And so I want to say to UNC people. When we included people like Jermaine Abdullah, when we included people like William Archie on the slate, it's because they know the inner workings of San Fernando West, and that is a seat we will get, and that is how we will get into government. And when we included people like Larry Lala, it's because he has done the work in Tunapuna, and that is a seat we will get. That is not a chair to pack up. And when we have people like Wayne Mohammed on the slate, it's because they have done the work in the South constituencies. So we could close our eyes on the safe seats, because as Kyle said, they will just become safer seats because people will be coming to the UNC. And when we have put together a slate that is thinking about the job that they have to do and how quickly they can get to it, that is what you have to look for on June 15th. On June 15th, your question is simple. The question you have to ask yourself is, do you feel comfortable that the UNC will win an election now? And if you know in your heart that the answer is no, you know you must vote for the praying hands. It makes no sense, ladies and gentlemen, for us to sit down amongst ourselves and grumble and say, if we had, and if we had only, and if I'd only get up, and if I'd only miss breakfast, if I'd only not bother to go so and so. There is no more if-onlys. If we allow 15 years of the PNM, there is no coming back for Trinidad and Tobago. If we allow 15 years of the PNM, there is no coming back for the UNC. And if we allow the other slate that is running people from the UNC, what will we have left? You can imagine that the cost of speaking out in defense of your party is for them to say they will isolate you and they will put you out. Put you out of what? This is not your house, this is our house. Where are you putting us out from? I'm telling you, I see a man who get licked twice, telling people, if you get your licks, you have to go. Go where? You here still? So if you here, right? I cannot understand what the level of thinking is on that side. They are deliberately attempting to mislead individuals. This is a UNC national executive election. The positions are from deputy political leader, chairman, deputy chairman, international relations officer, education officer, party organizer, all of our regional representatives. These are the positions that we are looking at. And if you had responsible leadership in the UNC, what would have happened is that everybody will know we are all members of the UNC running. And that the UNC members, you individual members, get to decide who is best for you and who will work for you. Instead of having responsible leadership in an attempt to endorse, you are trying to call us PLM. You are trying to convince people that is two different parties running, that is two, or is a third party. All of that is not true. Why are you doing that? It is irresponsible, it is reckless, and it will destroy the UNC. What you have to say to the people is that there are two teams. One team is what you had. You had it from 2010, 2015, 2017, there was an internal election. 2020, there was an internal election. 2022, there was an internal election. You had them all along. And if you know that they did not work for you, give them their walk-in papers on June 15th. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I will close where I began when this campaign started. The winds of change are coming. The winds of change will sweep over the United National Congress, and it will sweep us into government into 2025. And ladies and gentlemen, the fate of the party is in your hands. in the UNC, we have one man, one vote. You could be MP, you could be councillor, you could be leader. You only have one vote and it's the same as yours. And so, ladies and gentlemen, come out on June 15th and cast your vote for a stronger UNC, for a stronger Trinidad and Tobago, and vote for the praying hands. I thank you.
UNC is stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. Whoa.
Thank you, MP Anita Haynes. You see why I asked you all to give her a standing ovation before? Ladies and gentlemen, you know, listening to MP Anita, I now realize somebody in the party, Rushton, says we hiding from Parliament. They had to be mad. I want to tell you tonight, I didn't even know that MP Anita, I now heard her and I now ask her who said that. If that chairman named Man, I want him to tell everybody in this country, as the shadow minister of finance, where was he in October 2021 for the budget debate? That man run out of the parliament and hiding. And them had the goal to say where these MPs hiding, running from parliament. He couldn't take the jamming in the parliament. He didn't even contribute to the budget debate. And if he named Man, let him come and say otherwise. I want to tell you all, you see that nonsense that being spread from the top go down to that slate, that other side? MP Anita Haynes, MP Rodney Charles, MP Rushton Paré, and myself, up to when we were allowed to speak in the parliament, we had the highest track record of debating in the parliament. I debated the most amount of bills up to the local government elections last year. You have to ask yourself why these MPs were being sidelined. Why? After local government elections, MP Paré, MP Rai Ragbir, MP Rodney Charles, MP Anita Haynes, and myself were sidelined. And let them come. Listen, I'm not saying so, you know, go on the parliament website and check it yourself. And you'll see I debated the most amount of bills up to when I was allowed to speak in the parliament. Hiding from parliament. And I know they're coming to talk some nonsense, Rodney Charles, about questions and whatever, you know. Bring it, because I have plenty to say. I have plenty to tell you the truth about what was happening inside here. But we don't need to go there. If you all, on Saturday, 15th of June, return the United Patriots, the praying hands to lead this party, we can forget all that and let us start building and rebuilding this party, refocusing, revitalizing. Ladies and gentlemen, time is very short, and I want to ask my brother Neil Ramdat to join me on stage because he has a very important function to do. And so I want to let's welcome Neil Ramdat with a round of applause. Neil.
It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger...
Thank you very much indeed, MP Rambali. Give him a round of applause for doing a fantastic job here in Mayaro. Before I bring on the final speaker, I heard a couple nights ago, they said on the other side that this MP was not wrong to support the local government candidates and councillors in the region. I am asking the people of Guaya, like Miss Jones who's sitting down here, like Mary, like Poole, the Sudama family, like every one of them, to tell us, and I am asking those councillors to stand up and say, where were they when MP Rushton Paré stood beside them and supported them financially and otherwise in 2016, in 2019, in 2022? They have short memories. They have short memories. This is an MP who has stood up for the people of Mayaro. He was born in Guayari, in that lovely community in the oil boom in the 1970s, and have blended his entrepreneurial spirit and public service ethos of that shaped Trinidad and Tobago into what it is today. He was raised by a police officer and a businesswoman who instilled the values of respect for authority and a compassion for community. I will tell you, like MP Charles, before his political career started in 2015, he was already a successful entrepreneur. He holds a master's degree in business administration and several international IT certifications. He has led various enterprises, such as Computer Technology and Services Limited, Network Technology, and the famous one that you all know, Mayaro Cable TV. He have always understood that the businesses was more than just revenue streams. It was designed to serve and uplift the community. His role as he headed the Mayaro Business Chamber acted as a prelude to his political journey. Committed to unlocking Mayaro untapped potential, he chose to take the advocacy from the boardroom to empowerment of people. In Parliament, he is recognized as a force of innovation and transparency. He has leveraged his expertise in digital transformation and streamlined office operations, embodying the principles of availability and communications. His motto, and I can tell you at the office, his motto has always been, bad news better than no news, in keeping with his honest dialogue with his constituents. But there's something very important I want to tell you. His tenure in Parliament extended beyond his legislative duties. He has actively served on the Joint Select Committees and has contributed over 70 bills and motions. Community development remains his focus, his collaboration for local schools and NGOs. What has set him apart is international experience, having participated in programs across Washington, South Korea, India, Germany, and all, bringing that global perspective to local governance, and which all includes a balancing act that has made him into the man he is today and has provided a better way of life for the people of Mayaro and Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to bring to you, with a standing ovation, ladies and gentlemen, the Atlantic Powerhouse. Make some noise as we bring to you no other than the leader of the patriotic team, United Patriots. Let's welcome MP Rushton. MP Rushton Barry.
Push, bitch, real, fire on you word on the ground. Rushton Barry, MP for this town. Mayaro go get better, fire go get better for the kids them around. This is a businessman with a plan. He always give out donation, so we can't go against Rushton Barry for this election.
Thank you very much, Neil. After listening to the slate of speakers here this evening, I am more convinced now than ever that this job, this assignment that is before us is not going to be a difficult one. Because when you have the competency level of the persons around you, the job becomes easier. So a very pleasant good evening to all of our constituents of Mayaro. Those of you who have journeyed from far to join us here today as we come to almost the end of our campaign. And as Anita said, we have 2 days to go. Martin Luther King, ladies and gentlemen, once said that there comes a time when people get tired. While he spoke that, he talked about the problems faced by Afro-Americans today.
in Trinidad and Tobago, we too find ourselves tired, but for a different reason. Our country, ladies and gentlemen, stands on the brink of collapse, grappling with social and economic turmoil. It is against this troubling backdrop that I welcome you and thank you for standing up as patriots to rescue our nation in this crisis. For too long, our beloved nation has grappled with challenges that have tested our resolve and unity. But today, I stand here not to dwell on the obstacles we have faced, but to celebrate the resilience and strength that defines us as a people. From the rolling hills of Rio Claro to the bustling streets of Port of Spain, from the tranquil shores of Tobago to the vibrant communities of San Fernando, we are united by a shared purpose, a commitment to building a brighter future for all of us here in Trinidad and Tobago. My friends, this team that is before you here today have embarked on a journey fueled by hope, guided by principles, and anchored in the belief that together we can overcome any obstacle, achieve any goal, and fulfill the promise of our nation's potential. Our symbol, the praying hands, symbolizes not only our belief, but also our unity in prayer, in purpose, and in action. Your presence here today is a testament of your dedication and love for our country. And it is through this united effort that we can bring about the change that we so desperately need. For the past 2 months, my brothers and sisters, I have met with UNC members all across the country, from Mayaro to Saparia to Princestown to Chaguanas to Cedras, and they have all told me the same thing. We are tired of the UNC losing. We need to win. My friends, I can tell you that everyone on this slate wants the UNC to win. When you put your X next to the praying hands on June 15th, you are voting for the UNC to win. When the UNC loses, brothers and sisters, it is not only the political leader that loses or the MPs that loses. It is the people of Trinidad and Tobago that will lose. When the UNC loses, it is your children who lose. When the UNC loses, it is the small business owners who lose. When the UNC loses, it is law-abiding citizens that lose. When the UNC loses, it's our senior citizens who lose. When the UNC loses, it's the hard-working people of this country who lose. I want the UNC to win because I want the people of Trinidad and Tobago to win. That is all we want to do. My friends, that is the choice we as UNC members have on Saturday, June the 15th. And the choice couldn't be clearer. It's either you choose the praying hands to win government, or you choose the other side and we stay in opposition. It is that simple. The choice is yours on June 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, we, this country, every one of us, we are exhausted by the pervasive crime situation, feeling anguish as our friends, our neighbors, and our colleagues fall victim every day. Crime has become an overwhelming part of our daily lives. This government, in its incompetence, resorts to pleading with ruthless criminals, expecting them to change their ways by reporting something on the papers. Our nation, ladies and gentlemen, is slipping into anarchy with fearless thugs committing crimes everywhere and every day. The government of today remains indifferent, with leaders more focused on personal pursuits than addressing the crisis. The current state of our beloved Trinidad and Tobago is not merely a result of poor governance, but a testament to the collective neglect and complacency that has been allowed to fester over the years. We have allowed ourselves to become passive spectators in a game where our futures and the futures of our children are being gambled away. We must reawaken the spirit of activism, civic engagement that has historically been the backbone of our society. It is time to remind ourselves that we, the people, hold the ultimate power in a democracy. The legacy of our forebears demand that we rise to the occasion, that we do not let their sacrifices be in vain. We, all of us here, are the inheritors of a rich and diverse cultural heritage, a legacy of resilience and innovation. Our history in the UNC is replete with examples of triumph over adversity, of unity in the face of division. We must draw today upon this legacy as we chart a new course for our nation starting on Saturday. Our economic situation is in dire straits. Dinesh spoke about that earlier. The energy sector returns are dwindling. It is dwindling fast. Yet no effort is made by this government to diversify in other industries. The burden of the debt that we are carrying, ladies and gentlemen, will fall on our children and our grandchildren. And it is now compounded by plans to introduce new taxes. Financial mismanagement not only threatens our present, but it mortgages our future, leaving a legacy of debt for the next generation. And then we have a prime minister oblivious to the common man struggle. He dismisses the suffering in the land by citing that people are attending some reggae concert Saturday night, so life is good. That is how he dismisses the struggles of our people. Families, ladies and gentlemen, they cannot afford basic needs. Public health care, education systems are in a collapse and decline. The state of our public services is appalling, and the government's insensitivity to the reality of today is staggering. Ladies and gentlemen, the neglect is systematic and pervasive, and it affects every aspect of our daily lives. Businesses are closing every day. Foreign investors are running away from Trinidad and Tobago because of the prevailing crime situation. Our once proud nation now makes international news for crime rate, not because of our achievements. Trinidad and Tobago, once a beacon of prosperity in the Caribbean, is now a cautionary tale, with travel advisories warning against visiting our shores. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the future we envision for our children, and it is certainly not the future we deserve. We cannot stay idle. This is our country, the land of our ancestors and our descendants. We have a stake here, and we must improve our country by voting out the most incompetent government in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. But what does that mean? What is the assignment before us? Our vehicle into government is the United National Congress. But we have a current national executive that lacks vision and vigor to effectively challenge the PNM, and that is the fact. The UNC today does not represent the diversity of ideas and ideals of our country in its current state, and its agencies and arms are non-functional. We need leadership that is inclusive, dynamic, and responsive to the needs of all citizens. Our party needs a rescue act. We cannot and must not rely on past victories or leaders who are symbols of a bygone era. We need leadership that can mobilize support across urban and rural communities all alike. We need to revive the spirit of Mr. Pandey, who united varied members and supporters in a common purpose. We must become the big tent once again. Larry spoke of it, where all will be welcome and feel at home, focusing on unity, dedicated leadership, and rejecting the old politics of division, which the other team, the other slate, seems fatigued of. The time demands new ideas and new energy, and we must be ready to embrace change. We must unite to fight for the betterment of all of Trinidad and Tobago. Our country must return to course correction, and we must save our Twin Island Republic. Our aim is to rebuild a democratic institution called the United National Congress that encourages and acts upon a multiplicity of views. The UNC must cease being a storehouse of a single person and become a robust marketplace of ideas. Important decisions of our party must be taken by consensus, guided by skill and talent like the team in front of you here, not by whims and flattery. Our party, the United National Congress, should be a reflection of our nation's diversity, with leadership that is representative of all segments of our society. The United Patriots team of dedicated, competent, and creative party faithfuls, each with a track record of accomplishment and service. I recognize today, more than ever before, the ingenuity and wisdom of our young and dynamic political leader candidate, Ms. Anita Haynes-Allen. I recognize today the brilliance and glow of our deputy political leader candidate, Dr. Rai Ragbir. Dr. Rai's global perspective and institutional party knowledge is invaluable to the assignment that lies before us. I wish to acknowledge the support and strength of my parliamentary colleagues, MP Rodney Charles and MP Dinesh Rambali. Gentlemen, your strength and determination of purpose have kept all of us inspired on this journey so far, and I thank you. I recognize the legal luminaries on our United Patriots slate, Mr. Larry Lala, Senior Counsel, and Attorney Kyle Taklal Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, these men have traversed the length and breadth of our legal system, from the district magistracy to the halls of the King's Privy Council in London. They are the undisputed legal luminaries of our times. I recognize the sterling contribution to society that Dr. Curtis Manchun has made in the field of leadership and accounting. His institutional knowledge of our party will be a great asset in building the future leaders for tomorrow. I recognize our local government practitioners in Mr. Henry Awong, Vice Chair of the CCTRC, Councillor Jason Ali, who will lead our strategic policy direction, bringing parity and policy to local government service, ensuring these two gentlemen will ensure that local government satisfy the needs of our wider membership with the priority it deserves. I must recognize the stalwarts of our party who will lead from the ground up. Jermaine Abdullah, William Archie, Wayne Mohammed, Jazinho Rigsby, Dr. Roshan Ali, Mr. Ricky Scanklin. All of these men and women are soldiers of the UNC. They will represent the view and the vision and hope of a wider membership at the leadership level. And in recognizing the future of our great party, I ask that you acknowledge Shanta C. Prasad, Mr. Dev Chan Ramjit Singh, Ms. Chanel Roberts. We, the Patriot slate, have offered ourselves to you, the UNC membership, to become your next national executive, to implement the measures to improve the party's administration and efficiency. Unlike many others, I read something in the newspaper today about who does hide behind somebody's skirt tail. Well, I want to tell you tonight that we don't stand behind anybody's skirt tail. We stand behind the members of our party. We stand behind good governance of our party. We stand behind the young people of our party. We stand behind every woman in our party. We stand behind the poorest of the poor in this country. We stand behind the dwindling middle class who has now become the working poor in this country. We stand behind the struggling small and micro family enterprise. That is what we stand for, and that is what we will stand behind, not behind anybody's curtail. When we assume office, we will engage with every stakeholder, every person, every group who have a contribution to national development. We will consult with them. We will make a manifesto of national change that will address the serious issues. Much like what is being peddled by the party, lots of good ideas, but we need to be in government to execute. And by having a new administration, on the 17th of June, we will start our plans for economic diversification, job creation, improvement in public health care, and all other facets of our economy that we have to look after. Ladies and gentlemen, the slate that I lead, we believe in a united society, inspiring all of our artists and sportsmen in achieving international success. Once again, we have lost that desire. Our aspiration is to improve the quality of everyone's life and reach our country to its fullest potential. We have boundless faith in our destiny, and we are convinced that an invigorated national executive can mobilize and expand the membership to capture government in 2025. This current executive is in a decline, and it is aimless and useless, and they must be tossed aside on Saturday, the 15th of June, 2024. That team cannot. They don't have the capacity, they don't have the skill, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the will, they don't have the desire to take the UNC to national electoral victory. And we must reject that. This United Patriots team of winners, we are a team of winners that will restore the UNC to its former glory and lead us to government in 2025. On Saturday, I ask all of you, members of the party, vote your conscience on Saturday. Think of your family and future and support the United Patriots as the next national executive of the United National Congress. Let us take a decisive step to take back our country. We have a duty to preserve our beautiful island for future generations. In pursuing these goals, we must ensure that our governance is transparent, accountable, and inclusive. This means strengthening our democratic institutions, promoting the rule of law, and ensuring that all citizens have a voice in the decisions that will affect their lives. We must move away from a culture of corruption and cronyism towards a culture grounded on integrity and public service. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not tell you tonight that it is going to be easy. The road ahead will not be easy, but I am confident that with determination, unity, and a shared vision for a beautiful future, we can overcome the challenges that we are going to face. Each of us have a role to play in national transformation. Whether you are a business owner, a teacher, a healthcare worker, a student, a parent, your contribution to national development will be vital. We must all of us here in the country, in Trinidad and Tobago, we must come together, harness our collective strength, and work towards a brighter future for all citizens. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we stand on the precipice of this new dawn, let us remember the words of Martin Luther King Jr. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Our journey will be filled with setbacks and challenges, but we must never lose sight of our ultimate goal, a Trinidad and Tobago that is prosperous, peaceful, and just. Let us also draw inspiration from the words of Mahatma Gandhi. The future depends on what you do today. The future will depend on what you do on Saturday, June the 15th, 2024. Every action we take, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how small, brings us one step closer to the Trinidad and Tobago that we envision. We must act with purpose and conviction, knowing that our efforts, all the efforts that all of you have put down over the last 60, 80, 90 days will pave the way for a better tomorrow for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, although the task may seem daunting, we must remember that great achievements often begin with small steps. Let us take those small steps together, starting on Saturday with courage and determination, knowing that our united effort, all of us in this room, will lead us to success. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I call upon each one of you to recommit to the cause of national renewal. Let us put aside our differences and work together for a common good. Let us build a Trinidad and Tobago that we can be proud of, a nation that affords opportunity and hope to all its citizens, every single one. Together we can turn the tide and create a future that is bright and full of promise. Finally, I commend the future of Trinidad and Tobago into your collective hands on Saturday, the 15th of June, 2024. On Saturday morning, brothers and sisters, like you, when I awake on Saturday morning and I look to the east and we welcome the rising sun, let faith be your ultimate guide. And for those of you who are not inclined to be moved by faith alone, there is always duty. Duty to country, duty to community, duty to family. Nelson Mandela said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." May God bless Trinidad and Tobago. May God bless the members of the United National Congress. A stronger UNC is a stronger Trinidad and Tobago. I will see all of you on Saturday morning, bright and early, at the polling stations. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you.
It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. It's a stronger TNT, a stronger UNC. Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, MP Rushton Parry! I told my Chaguanas West constituency, and I'm telling you all here tonight, when you're rolling with Rushton Parry and the United Patriots, is free doubles, okay? All right, there are refreshments for everyone. I just want to say thank you very much to our religious leaders, Imam Chedi, Pandit Kemraj Maharaj, and Mother Mary Louison. The praying hands. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.